Very stressed about selling a home as is in a neighborhood full of turnkey homes. Helping my grandma sell her home and it's stressing me out beyond belief. Someone please calm my fears or provide any additional insight. Homes in her subdivision have been selling for $625, $750,000. This is an upper-middle-class Midwestern suburb, where millennials with money want new updated modern everything. Not very old appliances, poor landscaping, floor damage, paint necessary, etc., etc., etc. I'm sure things will work out fine. But her house sticks out like a sore thumb. It's that house in the neighborhood that's a little unique, and in great need of some TLC. We're considering listing it around $495,000. Any input or advice? Our realtors seem to know their stuff, but my anxiety has me on edge right now. Edit: she's needing a quick sale to have substantial money for assisted living. Additionally, my major concern is that it has a very unusual layout. 3-bed, 3-bath. But they are all almost identical in dimensions. Thus no real master bed or bath. 2 bathrooms only have a bath, no shower. Long story. Final edit: thanks so much for all the input. Looking forward to seeing how things progress. A smart person buys the worst house in the best neighborhood. It will sell quick. Don't be stressed, just price it accordingly. Just think, her home could be a way for an honest, hard-working family to get into a nice neighborhood, and to make the house perfect for them. $200,000 below comps? I bet it will sell quick. Sell as is. I can't tell you how many times I've ripped new floors and tossed in a dumpster, because the buyer didn't like the color. As a prospective buyer, your home is the exact type I'm looking for. I would much rather buy yours than a recent flip markup where I don't like the new style anyways. Cheapest house in a good neighborhood that I can make my own? These rarely exist anymore. Yes, please. Don't price it too low, ask for what it's worth. I wouldn't start that low. I would list at around $535,000. Good realtors will know how to price, stage, and market the product accordingly. Sometimes you might have an issue that will really reduce the number of people that would be willing to entertain your property. And a good realtor should advise you if you have such an issue, and how to mitigate either via price or fixing before sale. Does your realtor have a record of seeking similar homes? I love to see houses as is. Then I get sad because I know some a-hole is gonna buy it cheap. Rip all the charm walls personality out. Paint the bricks usually shitty. I might add. Then expect a $200,000 payday for ruining it. My advice: market it towards people who adore time capsule homes. Somebody who wants to renovate to their satisfaction will buy it. The old adage is, it's better to have the cheapest house in a neighborhood than the most expensive. I sold my parents' situation just a few years ago. The first 2 days there was an endless stream of traffic. People who were willing to take on the updating project. Sold on the 5th day. If you're familiar with renovation and repair costs, add them up and subtract it from the after reno price. See where that ends up. If it's only paint and minor repairs needed, then a $550,000 house in a $700,000 neighborhood will sell quickly. That's what I do for investment real estate. I know what it would sell for fixed. B know roughly what it'll cost to fix. And then just see if A-B is worth my time versus the purchase price. And usually the answer is not worth time, but the place sells anyway to someone who wants to live there. I got my house for approximately $150K less than the other houses in the neighborhood. I got it from the original owner who never updated anything. I have spent about $75K on updates so far. and my house is now appraising as one of the highest in the neighborhood. Don't stress. There is a good chance there will be a bidding war. Literally last night, I was talking to a family friend of mine looking to buy a house, and he said how he wouldn't be able to afford a turnkey renovated home, so he's looking at houses which need some work as he's very handy and thinks it would be more within his price range. So I wouldn't stress about it at all if I were you. People who can't afford a $625, $750,000 house will jump at an as-is house in the neighborhood. A few months of elbow grease and a little additional dollar invested from buyers will bring it up to the local standards. What are you stressed about exactly? Inventory is non-existent right now, so people who are in the market for a home are desperate. Your grandma's house is going to sell very quickly as long as it is priced fairly. If investors were offering you $470,000, that means the home is worth at least $500,000. If not significantly more. I would listen to your realtor because I don't know your area. But it sounds like your house is worth more than $495,000. The bedroom sizes would be attractive to some buyers, especially with kids who won't have to decide who gets the small bedroom. I speak from experience. Plenty of people are willing to put in some elbow grease for a cheaper home, especially if it's in a good neighborhood. This is a non-concern. So, we're also in the Midwest Chicago, and bought basically your parents' house. It was exactly what we wanted. Houses in the neighborhood are going for the high 6 to mid 7s. We paid slightly over 5. But this way, we got to stay in our old house while we turned the new one into exactly what we want. We ended up with quite a bit of equity. And exactly what we wanted in finishes. Someone is going to love your parents' home for exactly what it is. And that it hasn't been turned into a gray nightmare. If I lived in the Midwest and was house shopping, I'd buy your grandma's $500,000 house if all other properties in the neighborhood were selling for $100. $200K more. Smart buyers shop for deals. I don't want someone else's shitty flip. I'm so sick of seeing listings with laminate, i.e. plastic wood floors, tacky backsplashes with cheap granite places on top of low-quality cabinets or original cabinets that have been given a coat of paint and new hardware. Relax. Some dude in a truck will buy it as a fixer-upper. List it higher and let them talk you down so they feel like they got a deal. List for $550 and settle for $500. As a counterpoint to the majority advice, I just sold my upper middle class home in a $600,000, $700,000 neighborhood. And it took months and months because no one in that price range wanted to do any repairs. Rich people can often just wait around. If you're not strapped for time and have some repair money, just do some work on it. That sounds like such a great case for selling. Best of luck, op. I'll buy a fixer-upper any day over these flips that saturate the market still here. I'll fix it up and assure the work is done well, not cheaply. Typical buyers do want updated or turnkey places these days. It is the continuation of a trend that started in the early 00s along with shows like House Hunters. You can definitely sell your place without updates, but you will have to price accordingly and you'll attract a different type of buyer and you will probably negotiate. I'll be selling my big old 1970s house next year. I have to do one shower because a leak drain pan and have a little painting, but that's it. I had all of the plumbing excavated out and replaced from under the foundation all the way to the Dollar Tree earlier this year. Most buyers seem to go in and rip everything out, so I don't see much point in doing a bunch of work. I'll price it accordingly with allowances for flooring, etc. Good luck. What does your realtor think you should list it at?